Howdy, y'all. Can I get a Texas-sized yeehaw?
Yee.
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 Yee. Yee.
Yee. Yee.
Yee.
Yee!
Yee.
Yee.
Haw! Dude, you just heed your last haul. Alrighty, guys. Now, carry on. America was believed that we had the right to go anywhere and do anything we needed. This belief was called manifest destiny. This belief meant that we, as Americans, had the God-given right to go from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Gee, the traffic sure was terrific. Now, because of that, there was a lot of political support for this because we wanted that land. We wanted to keep going outward. But unfortunately, American Indians were not so lucky with this particular event. Largely on account of the fact that they were already there. In all honesty, do you really think that was going to stop American expansionists? No. American soldiers would often go in, kick the Native Americans out of their land, and would forcibly move them someplace else. And that particular event became known as the Trail of Tears. Now, this was a march where all of the Native American tribes who lived on the East Coast, where most of the colonies and then later the United States started popping up, were forced to move into Indian Territory, a reserved stretch of land in what would later become modern-day Oklahoma. These particular tribes had to march for miles on end, very rarely given a break by U.S. troops escorting them, faced horrendous conditions. They had to go through all of that just because we wanted more land. The War of 1812. After the Revolutionary War, the British kind of ignored us because they were dealing with the problems of Europe. But when war broke out again with the French, the British began to interfere with our shipping as well as our trade with the French, often taking our own ships, our supplies, and even forcing our own sailors into the British Army in order to support their own war efforts against the French, and that causes a whole lot of problems. After a while, the British even started to attack our own forces in the West from Canada, and taking over some of our own trading and shipping groups in there as well. So after a while, President Madison wanted to stop this and declared war, but we will talk more about that particular event later on.
So after the War of 1812, we have this time period where a lot is going on in American history. We got more people being able to vote than ever before. We've got different issues between the North and the South and other sections of the United States. And we also have people moving west and trying to figure out how to participate in politics. So what we have is this time period that we refer to as the Age of the Common Man. Newly, all white adult men are able to vote. Beforehand, you had to be rich, you had to own land to be able to vote in America. But now they open it up, they extend the franchise, they give the right to vote to all adult white men. So we have more people able to vote than ever before. They turn out to vote, and we have a whole different style to campaign, because before, mostly the people involved in politics are rich white guys, but now we have all white guys able to participate in politics. So you want to appeal to a different audience, basically. And the main person that we have take advantage of this is Andrew Jackson, because he was a common man himself. He wasn't born into a rich family. He did not have a whole bunch of money. He actually rose to power and rose to fame through the War of 1812. He was born rather poor and actually joined the army. And in the War of 1812, he led a group in the Battle of New Orleans, which is pictured right here, that defeat the British. It's this huge victory, this major battle in the War of 1812. And through that, he got a lot of fame, got a lot of notoriety, and was able to get involved in politics despite being born with little to nothing. So he knows what it's like to be, a poor white guy, and is able to connect with them. So he's able to campaign and really get a lot of votes, and more people turn out to vote for him than ever before. And there's a lot of parallels that they have between this last election of 2016 and the election of 1828, where Andrew Jackson defeats John Quincy Adams. So we have this time period where Andrew Jackson is elected, and he's running, he's campaigning, and he promises things to people who are supporting him. And he then, once he takes office, once he wins, he gives them the jobs or whatever he promised them. So this is called the spoils system. It comes from the phrase, to the victor go the spoils, because the winner of this office is able to give out rewards to those who supported him and those people that had his back. And that is where we have this big change. Andrew Jackson was not some rich aristocrat that took office kind of like we had with Madison and Jefferson. Andrew Jackson was a common guy. So after Andrew Jackson is elected, we have the Federalist Party basically disappearing. It loses power, and nobody is really a Federalist anymore. So it's really just the Democratic Republicans as the only political party for some time. So we have another political party emerge known as the Whigs, spelled W-H-I-G-S, that rise up just to oppose the Democratic Republicans. And we also have the Know-Nothings, and they specialize being an anti-immigration party. They want to focus on having fewer and fewer immigrants entering the country. That's all we have for today. So remember, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below, and get your work done. Bye.